More than a dozen suspected drug smugglers are jailed after sheriff's deputies say they were caught bringing drugs onto the Central Coast.
And you may have...
Live, local, news. KSBY News at 6 starts right now.
Good evening. The San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Office says 14 people are in custody tonight for attempting to smuggle drugs into the Central Coast.
They say deputies patrolling the coast spotted the suspects unloading a panga boat. The boat was beached on a remote location inside Montana de Oro State Park. Cameron Polam joins us live just outside the park. So Cameron, law enforcement agencies actually took the suspects into custody, right?
Yeah, that's right. They have taken them into custody, but according to Homeland Security, smugglers attempting to use panga boats, trying to land their boats up and down the California coast at least twice a week. The majority of those are not apprehended, but thanks to some sharp eyes and some quick instincts, those 14 are in handcuffs tonight. 14 men caught with large quantities of drugs and cash near a remote trail in Montana de Oro early this morning are facing federal drug smuggling charges.
Noticed that they were offloading some folks into Montana de Oro State Park. That's when we decided to keep surveillance on them.
Around 6, deputies watched the men begin to offload the drugs into at least 4 vehicles and initiated a traffic stop shortly after.
A little duffel bag.
As we made our way to the panga boat, key evidence littered the trail.
What you're seeing is just a lot of packaging material, a lot of debris.
Most are tagged and collected.
A container.
Police found water bottles and also hope to find fingerprints or DNA that may help link the suspects to the crime. Police have marked evidence along the trail, including this switchblade. Police say they believe this was used to reduce the size of the packaged drugs on the panga boat, making them more manageable for the half-mile hike up to awaiting vehicles.
Some gloves, some work gloves that were discarded.
The amount of drugs has not been released, but according to Homeland Security, the average load is about 2,000 pounds. Police will continue to take photos and collect additional evidence from the boat throughout the day. The 14 suspects were taken to the San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Station for processing, after which the Homeland Security will take over the case and conduct their own interviews. What they'll be trying to find out is where this panga boat originated from and who's paying these guys to bring it down to the Central Coast. Live and local in San Luis Obispo, I'm Cameron Polam, KSBY News.
All right, Cameron, I know in previous panga boat confiscations it's been marijuana. Is that the kind of drugs, or did they tell you what they confiscated today?
Yeah, actually, yes, they did tell me later on in the day after I talked to them that this is marijuana, and it does majority of the time end up being marijuana that they are smuggling in.
All right, Cameron Polam reporting live from Montana de Oro tonight. Now that suspects are in custody, we want to find out what happens to the boat they left behind. Kelly Moore is live in San Luis Obispo. All right, Kelly, what happens to these panga boats after they are seized?
Jeanette, that panga boat is still on the beach. It's going to remain there until tomorrow because it is big. It's 40 feet long and extremely heavy. And with these gusty winds and a rising tide, it's actually a hazard to move it. And getting to the area is very limited. You have to walk over sand dunes or come in from the ocean. The Department of Homeland Security is hiring a company to remove the boat tomorrow, and most likely they will use a tugboat. After it's taken out of the water, it will most likely be towed to Long Beach, where it's stored in a warehouse with other seized items.
Usually are held as evidence during the eventual criminal proceedings at a contractor, where they're held until they're forfeited and ultimately destroyed.
But if a panga is in good condition, the boat will be auctioned off to try and offset the cost, or the motors will get sold separately. The removal, transportation, and storage of a panga can cost thousands of dollars. As far as the drugs seized, Homeland Security says they will be destroyed, and after the investigation is complete, the panga boat will also be destroyed. Live and local in San Luis Obispo, Kelly Moore, KSBY News.
All right, and what happens to the suspects, Kelly? In previous cases, they're not U.S. citizens.
Jeanette, they will be charged locally. Sometimes they transport them to Los Angeles and it becomes a federal case, but these suspects will go through our court system.
All right, Kelly Moore and Cameron Polam with team coverage for us tonight of our top story. Thank you.
A 4.8